Welcome to the Fishbowl with Jade, where we put on our scuba gear and take a deeper dive beneath the surface. And today, we're sitting with something that feels personal, but it's actually patterned behavior. Something many people have experienced but don't always process all the way through. Being invited into a moment that costs nothing, a graduation, a birthday, a celebration, something simple, something meaningful, something where your presence is the only requirement. And still, people don't show up. No real explanation, no urgency, no adjustment to make it happen. Just absence, quiet absence, the kind that doesn't make noise in the moment, but echoes later. And then life shifts. Something happens, a loss, a passing, something final, and suddenly the room is full. Standing room only. People finding space along the walls, in the back, outside the doors. Everyone present, everyone expressing, everyone remembering, everyone speaking as if connection was always there. And it leaves a question sitting heavy in the air. Where was this presence when the person was alive to feel it? When the moment was happening in real time? When support actually had the ability to land? Now, let's sit in this honestly, because this is not just about people being inconsiderate. This is about human behavior, emotional patterns, social conditioning, and sometimes misaligned expectations. From a psychological perspective, people are more likely to respond to urgency than to invitation. Urgency creates emotion, it creates movement. It tells people, this matters now. While invitations, especially ones that are open, free, and flexible, feel optional. And when something feels optional, people treat it like it can be postponed, delayed, or skipped without consequence. Not always because they don't care, but because there is no internal or external pressure forcing them to prioritize it. Socially, we've also normalized replacing presence with acknowledgement. I saw it. I meant to come. I was going to stop by. And somehow those statements have become acceptable substitutes for actually showing up. People give themselves credit for intention, while the person who extended the invitation is left experiencing the reality of absence. And those two things are not the same. But let's go deeper, because we also have to talk about access. When people feel like they have consistent access to you, when they believe you will always be there, always inviting, always extending yourself, they unconsciously lower the urgency to show up, not always out of disrespect, but out of assumption. Assumption that there will be another moment, another chance, another invitation. And life has a way of quietly proving that assumption wrong. And then there's the part we don't always say out loud. Sometimes people don't show up because of how they feel in your spaces. Not everyone feels comfortable in every room. Not everyone connects to every environment. Not everyone knows how to show up for something they don't fully understand. And sometimes, instead of communicating that, they choose absence, which doesn't make it right, but it does make it human. Now let's shift the lens, because this isn't just about them. It's also about the expectations we carry, because sometimes we invite people without ever expressing what their presence actually means. We say, come if you can, when what we really mean is, this matters to me. We make things feel casual while internally attaching emotional weight to who shows up. And then we feel hurt when people respond to the casual invitation instead of the unspoken importance. And that gap between what is said and what is felt creates quiet disappointment. There's also a harder truth, one that requires self reflection. Sometimes the support we expect is not the support we've consistently built in our relationships. Support is not always automatic, it is often reciprocal, cultivated, reinforced over time. And while that doesn't mean people should only show up based on exchange, it does mean that not every relationship holds the same weight, even if we wish it did. But then We come back to the shift, the loss, the moment that can't be redone. And suddenly people show up. And from the outside, it looks like support. But psychologically, a lot of that presence is driven by closure, by guilt, by social expectation, by the need to be part of a moment that now feels significant. People understand funerals, they understand grief spaces, they understand how to show up when something is final because the role is clear, the emotion is shared, and the expectation is visible. But here's the truth that sits underneath all of it. Showing up after the fact doesn't replace not showing up when it mattered. It may bring closure, but it doesn't restore missed presence. It doesn't give the person the experience of being supported while they were living, building, celebrating, hoping someone would simply be there. And still, we have to hold space for humanity because not everyone who didn't show up didn't care. Some people are overwhelmed. Some people are navigating their own lives. Some people were never taught that presence is a form of love, that showing up is not small, it is not optional, it is the relationship in action. But for those who continue to show up for others and don't receive that same presence in return, there comes a moment of clarity where you have to stop labeling it as confusion and start recognizing it as information. Information about who prioritizes you, who connects to you, who sees your moments as meaningful without needing them to become final first. Not everyone is meant for your front row, and some people only recognize your value in hindsight. And if we're honest, some people only show up when the moment becomes about them too, their feelings, their image, their need to be associated with something that now carries weight. And if you find yourself on the other side of this, if you've been the one who didn't show up, not out of malice, but out of delay, assumption, or lack of urgency, then the question becomes, do you treat moments like they matter while they're happening, or only after they become memories? Because life does not only exist in the big final moments, it exists in the quiet invitations, the just come moments, the spaces where nothing is required but your presence. And those are often the moments that people remember the most. Not because they were grand, but because someone chose to show up when they didn't have to. Because one day the invitations stop and the room fills up, and the presence that costs nothing no longer has anywhere to go. And that silence feels different. Thank you for sitting in the bowl with me. Now let's come back to the surface. Stay classy, stay curious, stay ever evolving. The Fishbowl with Jade is on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and iHeartRadio.